you can regain your power now. You may not have thought that you had lost any or that you had given it away, but you have. We all do. When we come into the world, we have to learn who we are. And so during that process, we typically will give away our power to others because we're just trying to figure out who we're meant to become. And that happens over generations as well. So you might be feeling now as you're living that there's something more you're supposed to do and you're being pushed to do it. And you would be correct. And because you're recognizing that you're not in the place in your life that you would like to be, you're not seeing the world the way that you would want it to become. So that means that somewhere along the line, you just kept giving away your power to others because you didn't think you were enough. You didn't think you could do the great thing that you were given to do. We all do that. That's just part of our human evolution and our ascension. I'm talking about it from a different standpoint because we're in a transitional period in our world now. And I had given away my power as well. We all do because we don't know who we're going to become. We don't know what our lives are going to lead us to. We don't know what the world is going to be. And then we can look at the world now and think, wow, something is going wrong. Something's really not right in the world. And I will say, no, that's not really happening because I knew that, but I couldn't, but I had given away my power. So telling you how brilliant you were meant to become now was really challenging. There is an alignment in the universe, and we're all connected to it. So are you. And so that comes about at certain times because we're affected by the energies of our world, the galaxies, and how things are moving. But we understand that more and more as we develop more awareness, more consciousness, more to understand how our world creates, how we create ourselves, how what the human experience is about. And so my entire life has been about finding that out. So at this time in our transition, I was given a new philosophy to bring into the world so that we could all live much better lives. But I have to embrace that as well, just as you have to embrace the power that you have given away. There are things that we just don't believe. I tell people all the time, listen, I downloaded a philosophy and I did it in time and I knew what was going to be happening in the world. And that seems impossible, except when you start studying science, you know that time is an illusion. It's everything is happening now. That's not something we can really grasp as we're sitting in our human brains, so to speak. But I'm going to read you a message that I received and the date's really important. September 11th of 2020. Okay. Today is September 10th, and I'm doing it today because it's important that people would hear this probably tonight. And the other reason is I have something that's being released on the 11th, but we're going to do this today because this message is going to help you so much when you understand it and accept it, and you will begin to know why you might have been a little uncomfortable, afraid, or just not feeling your full self because you're in process of moving there or going there. But this is the message, and I'm going to read it to you. You probably won't be able to see it really well here, but I didn't want to do a whole presentation. I just wanted you to have the information. And so if you just can hear it, that will be good enough. September 11th, 2020. No one has taken your power, but you have chosen to give it away. This message is a bit challenging for Roger as we gave him a lot of information and he is dealing with his resistance to hearing our words and not believing them, just as you have done throughout your life. However, please understand nothing is wrong and this is a natural part of evolution. But when you discover what you have done in your life by relinquishing your power, your initial reaction, as Roger is experiencing, is one of self-judgment, which is not useful or productive. We told you your world is moving through a massive restructuring, and that includes you. We also said the United States would lead the way. And in the message of yesterday morning, we said more would be apparent during the day, and it was. You witnessed a leader who purposefully withheld information to maintain power. You each have lived under those conditions throughout civilizations. As we told Roger this morning, what you are meant to do is cut the umbilical cord. You have held on to the belief you needed to receive your sustenance and nurturance from something outside of yourself. You do succeed through each generation and evolve. But because you have no memory of that, you think something is going wrong now, and it isn't. Your only challenge is your resistance to change. We also told Roger, which he did not share with you, for again, it is his reluctance to accept his particular power, which is interpreting our communications. In the coming months, you will experience collective resistance as you and all others are resisting change and attempting to hold on to your version of reality. This morning, Roger found himself again in an uncomfortable situation in his life, and it would be easy to blame another. Still, the fact is, he also knows he created the problem. You all will begin to understand that superb definition of insanity you coined, which is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Stop looking at everyone else and decide to change for yourself and harness the power you gave away so long ago. Now, let me explain that because yes, I could receive this information, I could interpret it, but having others believe it was really challenging. So it was easier for me to say, I'm not going to tell them what they could achieve. For 35 years, I sat down and I received information like this. I did not know what it was going to turn into. You don't know what you have and what it's going to turn into because we all have something different, but it's meant to be used in the world and it's meant to be used now. We're moving through a big transition. And so when we move through transitions in civilizations, we go through a little conflict because there are those who are going to want to hold on to power and those who are going to want to move forward. And that's what you're seeing now. And it's being focused in the United States because of energetic changes. For the longest time, the United States has been looked at as the leader of the free world. And so they're figuring out, well, wait a minute, are we going to make all people equal? So if you're a person who is of color, or if you're a female, if you're any of that, you might have not felt yourself. And so this is the civilization, the lifetime that you're meant to become more of who you're meant to be. And then we start shifting the conversation, so to speak. And I was given work to do that. That's why I said I was given a new philosophy because we couldn't live the old way anymore. Because the old way, everything is about energy. And we have learned that energy has different qualities. And so when you're using it on yourself in a particular way, you'll have a result. If you're thinking about yourself and you're loving yourself and moving through all the restrictions, then you start to heal. You start to move to a higher state of understanding. But if you're not going to do that, you're going to keep putting on hate. You're going to keep being judgmental. You're going to have all that stuff. First of all, about yourself, and then you pass that on to others. That's where that blame comes in. Let's blame them for everything that's going on. And so we're going to see so much more of that. And I'm going to put this video out on the 10th because it's important because in the United States, we're having a debate. So I know all of this is aligned. And all the different energies are going to be coming up. And there will be those who are going to have these we're going to have anger, we're going to have hatred because our old ideas are coming up. And the ones that are about racism and misogyny and all those lower vibrational things, they're going to be on full display. And then you have to decide which ones you're going to hold on to. But I'll tell you what happens. My work takes you through everything. See, I had to move through that. I had to move through all the judgments and things that had been stored within me because they were programmed before I came here. They were programmed for me not to own my power. But now I know that, oh, wait a minute, the world is changing. We have to do more because it's just a balance of energies. So, which is why I want more people to hear and look at this and see, wait a minute, I can make a different choice in my life and we don't have to do the same things that we did hundreds of years ago. That's what that message was saying. Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And we will see that in our world. But then you have to make a choice within your life. Am I going to keep doing the same thing? See what I was doing for so long because I couldn't explain to you how I was doing this, how I received this information. I couldn't explain to you how I healed everything. And even though I'm seeing it show up and I'm seeing others who are doing the same thing from the work that I received. And I'm saying this because I received it. I didn't make this up, but it was stuff that it was cosmic guidance that was connected to personal development, self-actualization, and ascension. That's what happened. And then when you reach that place, you have a very different idea about yourself, feeling about yourself, and vision of the world. And that's what this work is. So I invite you to see it. But see, the other part of this, why September 11th is really important. Again, I we're not going to believe certain things, but I did a show called Beyond Belief with George Nuri. I went to Gaia back in June in Colorado, and I did that show. So I find out that that episode is going to be released on September the 11th. That's not an accident. And so it was aligned. You have an alignment. You have a plan. There's something within you that is meant to burst forth now and give you the life that you want to have. And I just happen to be a person who created a pathway for others to find it. That's what happened. My life was meant to move through all the difficulties and challenges that I had to develop this. Otherwise, I couldn't have given it to you, and I couldn't have told you that it worked, and it does. And that's what I will say to everyone. And I'm so grateful now. A couple of people enrolled yesterday because anybody can afford this. I'm just going to say that again, because what happens is you will look at something and think that's not possible because you've been programmed to think that you're not possible. That's all. And I understand it because this is what I had to go through. And at 73, I can tell you, oh, this does work. Oh, you can feel better. You can move through anything. Let me just say that because as I do my full story, everyone will understand. There's nothing that can hold you back except your unwillingness to change. That's really what it is. And that is what is going on in our world as well. And it was really difficult for me because I thought maybe I'm supposed to do, so I always thought, maybe, how am I supposed to change the world? We've all had that feeling, but now I know I can. See, because I have something that anyone could use to make their lives great. And the more of us who do that, we start creating a very different world because we don't need to hate people. We don't need to grab for anything. We're abundant and we have all of that. And it sounds really ridiculous until you start doing it and you see that it's true. There's nothing that makes you any less than any other person, any other being, except the programming that you've received that's in your consciousness. We are all consciousness. There is no difference except what we've been taught. And this is the time in our lives and in our world where we're meant to regain our power and do so much more. That's what I'm doing. So I'm so glad you're here. Please enjoy this video. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, make comments, share it with others. I'm going to start building more because after tomorrow, my hiding out is going to change because people are going to be seeing the presentation that I did where I said exactly the same thing. I've created something that any person who uses it will create this magnificent life and they will achieve the success that is destined for them. I'm saying that because it's different for each person, but this work leads you to your authentic place. See you guys soon.